Well, two firsts on this trip. First time I've ever shot a bull while it was fighting, and first time we've ever extracted an elk from a lake.
So this bull over here, shut up, we can't get him an answer now. The one that was going off the hook, he just kept dropping lower and lower. And the lower he got, the smaller he got. So I don't know if we want to go after him or not, but more importantly, we got to find water. So there's a little spring over here that sometimes has water in it. We're gonna hit that. If we can get water there, then we can do whatever we want. If we can't find water, we gotta go find some bulls low.
Well, this is a seep / elk pea spot / our water hole for today. So we're worried about just dropping our sawyers in there because it's pretty, once you make a flow, it's kind of dirty and it'll plug our sawyers up pretty bad. So we're going to contemplate a filter of some sort to filter it before it goes into our sawyer bags. So, doable.
It's crystal clear.
It's actually pretty dang clear. It's hot.
This is going to be super easy and super fun. Just walk that log, walk that log. And there's 4 logs that way, and then we'll walk some logs that way. And we should be over there 200 yards in like an hour and a half. Should be good and fun.
It's ridiculous how much energy that takes to get across that deadfall. It was a couple of... What?
With camp on your back?
Yeah, we have camp on your back. It's so hard to get through that stuff. I'm sweating. As we got in the next finger. Tyler. for sure he'd pipe off over here. This is where we thought we heard him. It seemed like he should be in the bottom of this draw, but nothing. So now we got thunder. I think we got some rain coming in. Alright, so let's go find a tree and sit under it for an hour, and maybe he'll pipe off on his own. You know, it's funny, elk hunting's either like easy or it's hard, and right now it's hard.
At what point was this trip easy?
Last year. You know, because like when elk hunting, like when it all comes together, it's like, that was easy.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other 95% of the time, it's like, this is impossible.
Yeah.
Right now, it's impossible. They're not answering. Even though this sucks hunting, this is still fun. Tyler, he's got some fancy stuff going on over there.
What's he got going on over there?
He's got some fancy stuff.
What you got going on over there, Crockett?
A little pour over.
I thought I'd see a cowboy do pour over.
It did expire like 2 years ago, so
okay, that helps.
I don't know how good it's not looking very dark right now. It's kind of looking like dirty water.
Alright, we thought our little storm was over. And then we got maybe a 20-minute break, and now it's just hitting again. It's pouring. More wet logs.
Well,
What do you think?
I really do not look forward to walking up through leaves and being drenched when we get there. I'd rather get up after the wind blows and dries things out. I'd rather get up and hike up there in the dark than try to walk up there right now on slippery, because yeah, we'll still have to go over. There's still a bunch of deadfall and crap that we've got to go over. When you don't see how far you have to go, it seems like you get there a lot faster. That's what's nice about walking in the dark. Right?
Yeah.
Right? I should make my food.
Can't tell if another storm's coming now.
Day number 3.
3.
Day number 3 was the worst day of the 3, for sure. So, we're building a fire to get our morale built back up and dry out. Because we're kind of getting our butts kicked a little bit in the elk hills.
Yeah. It's been so up and down. Like 10 minutes ago, I checked it and it was blowing straight up. I mean, that's just as wrong as it can get right there. For easterly wind, it's pretty lightly easterly.
That was a long day. A lot of driving, a lot of wind. Just keep moving. There's not a whole lot you can do. You just gotta deal with it.
He might have bugled. Oh, he just sat up. Oh, let's go call him in. He's running to us. Jeff, hit that wallow, yeah. It's coming. May not be the best spot. That's no good. So we just got hammered by a big storm. Craziest thing, we're kind of tucked in here by this wallow. And I thought I heard a bull bugle close. And then the storm hit us and we just hunkered down a minute. And I just talked to Jeff. He's actually over by the horses. He said that bull brought that cow and calf down within 28 yards of him and just screamed at him by the horses. So anyway, the bull turned around, saw the horses, I guess, and took his cow, and they just went up over his saddle. I think we got some footage of it, but pretty decent 6-point bull. But we had bugled, Jeff had bugled a couple times earlier this afternoon, and he just brought his cows right down to the bugle, so ended up in his lap. We were in the wrong place, but anyway, we gotta regroup and make a game plan for tonight. Looks like this storm passed, but hail and rain for a minute there. It was pretty exciting. It's been a pretty blustery afternoon. We had a couple of big storms blow through, but it's been good. It's got the elk up moving earlier. It's a little before 7, quarter to 7. And we're starting to see a bunch of elk move around. We've probably got, this is massive country, and we're at a good vantage point. Probably 15 bulls that we can see everywhere. So we're just gonna try and figure out our next move. One of our strategies for success is to make sure you have a game plan for the morning. We think we know where some of these elk could be vocal in the morning, so right now we don't have a play to make tonight, but we're just gonna surveying the surroundings. But it's been a fun afternoon, lots of elk moving around right now.
all alone one time. Thought I'd try it. Looks good. Well, we spent another day sitting and saw exactly one doe mule deer. Same one we aren't letting come and get a drink, and she's not very happy about it, but no elk. I don't know. Bring it up on the ridge and just walk the ridge and bugle a little. The 4 bulls from this morning got spooked by the motorcycles and went that way into the next drainage, so get on the ridge and walk along there. See, I was surprised that the elk were out feeding as long as they were this morning, so gives us another option for tomorrow morning. Maybe try to get in front of them and ambush them as they go from where they're feeding to where they're bedding, if they're going to be consistent. But I've seen the one bull on the same hillside 2 mornings in a row. So might be an option for tomorrow. See antlers, I gotta be decent. We spotted a bull across the canyon here. I know where he'll be in 10 minutes. It'll take us at least that long to get there.
Oh, yeah.
So smoky today. That's the hillside we were sitting here glassing last night at the same time. Can't even see it hardly, but we can see it well enough to see the big bulls back in that little wallow. Let's see if he's talking. He answered 3 straight times. They start raking. Bull bugling. He's bugled 3 times over there. So I'm gonna drop down, get the wind good. Move over into him. He answered 3 times and started raking. So same one. Well, I thought we had him. Got all excited. Had a bull bugle 3 times, answered us 3 times in a row. He suckered us down here about 500 feet in elevation. And then he went quiet. Got one chuckle out of him when we got down here. It almost sounded like he was going up towards where we first got him to bugle from. I thought he would have turned and came right down the hill. Dice. I just can't believe this smoke. Like you could see for 20 miles this morning. Now you can't see. There, 1.5 miles.
Not getting any updates to our fire maps, so
Hopefully it's not over the hill from us.
Did you hear about the fire at the circus?
It was intense.
It was intense.
Oh. My nephew lost his job as a stage designer. He got fired. He left without making a scene.
A stage designer. Is that what they're called? Wouldn't it be like a movie set designer?
Stage designer.
Stage designer. Just to give you a frame of reference, camp is in the very bottom of that V over there. We'll be there sometime tonight.
We may have slept in a little bit. Everything's wet, so we were very unmotivated.
There were at least 3 bulls there. 2 of them were fighting. I'm here to tell you, sitting in Wallows all day is so boring.
This has been the most sitting wallows or hillsides that we've ever done.
Yeah, it's so hot, and there's bulls, but I'm afraid that if we just take off hiking like we normally do, that we're going to end up bumping bulls out of their areas, and once they leave, they go looking for cows at this time, and just don't want to take a chance. So we're trying to leave a smaller imprint than we normally do, which means instead of hiking middle of the day and exploring and bumping into elk, we're just sitting, and it is brutal.
We did see one live animal.
Well, I saw a live animal. You and Roy were back there sleeping.
I wasn't asleep, but it was around the corner. Roy was definitely asleep.
Yeah.
But we did not have as good a vantage point as Corey. Corey was a shooter, so he was kind of out more in the open, and we were tucked back up to be able to film. And Corey could see the deer, and he's like, we looking over there, we can't see anything. Didn't know if it was a big 7-point bull, cougar, didn't know anything. But
until it finally snorted at us, and I think she was pretty upset because we were blocking the only source of water on the mountain, and she wanted pretty badly to come into
walk over there.
Yeah. But we ended up sitting there until the thermals changed again, and once they changed, we got up and hit the main ridge above the wallow, and hiked up it quite a ways and just did some blind calling. We finally ended up splitting up, and I'd went around the mountain one way, and we were gonna do our normal little back and forth yo-yo calling there, and hit triangle, and before we even got to that, I guess you had bugled a couple times.
Yeah.
But what he couldn't hear was there was actually a bull answering me from down below. So we met back up and dropped down, had good wind, got down there on it, and it bugled one time, I think, when we got down there.
Yeah.
And it almost sounded like it was back up where I had been calling to when I first located it. So I don't know if it had just beelined and tried getting up the mountain to me, and we came down and it was already up there, but it went quiet after that. And another ride at dark.
Yeah, we thought we were pretty close on that one.
It should have been.
Felt like it was going to happen, but
And it was bugling, probably the most active we've had all season. And it, again, wasn't much, but it answered like 3 times in a row. So the Skousens, very similar on this episode. They ended up sitting on a wallow, and they ended up splitting up to do some calling. And unfortunately for them, Jeff was back doing the calling and called the bull away from the wallow and into him instead of into Mark on the wallow.
didn't go according to plan.
But they did, I think the rest of the evening, they had a little storm blow in
on them, and got up high and just used the last little bit of light of the day to do some glassing and try to locate some elk that they could hunt the next day. So that's going to be our strategy for success. It's brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, is finding elk the night before and utilizing just those last few minutes of daylight to either locate some bugles or to actually spot elk that you can hunt the next morning. And having a game plan going into the next morning is so valuable. It's there's been a lot of times where we get up in the morning, it's like, where do we go today? And we don't have anything on the plate. You know, we don't have any bugles from the night before. We didn't see any elk the night before. And so a lot of times you get into that analysis paralysis where you don't know where to go because you don't have a plan. And sometimes you end up wasting some of those real valuable morning hours just either trying to find elk or come up with a plan.
Yeah. So that evening before, if you're not into anything, hike over a ridge and be able to walk back in dark, or relocate, try and find something, give yourself an opportunity for that next morning instead of having to do the same thing that you just did all day.
So, you know, instead of, I think when you're on elk and when you have all day to hunt elk, it's more of an acute focus. You're focused in on a specific area. Hey, let's go hunt this draw and see if there's any elk in it. And when you have that evening and you're looking for something the next day, it's kind of a broader focus that you're, you know, trying to find elk in the whole landscape, not in one specific little spot. And then that helps you make a plan for that specific spot to go the next morning. The Skousens are really good at it. There's several times that they'll mention, you know, as they're videoing, hey, we've got some bulls located right here just before dark. That's where we're going to be tomorrow morning. We're going to go right up there where they are and try to hunt those bulls. So they're good at it, and I think it definitely gives you an advantage to be able to do that. Even whether it's bugling, just getting a location bugle from a bull, or actually spotting an elk, it gives you a place to start your hunt the next day. So we used wallows, and so they used wallows, but Pure Elevation used a wallow a little differently than we did.
They did.
That was so nasty.
It's a cistern.
It was. They were out of water, so they had to find water, and in that country, there's just not much water.
No, but
the elk had stomped out a mud hole and peed all over in it, and they had to actually create a pre-filter so they wouldn't plug up their filter because it was just nasty.
Yeah, well, that's why you pack a good filter.
Yeah.
A lot of times there's a running stream, but those times when it's that water, just looking at it versus the running stream, you can imagine yourself drinking the water from the stream, but I'm going to drink that here in a minute.
Yeah.
But
pretty nasty, and they're in country where you need to keep hydrated.
Yeah.
And coincidentally, I thought it was funny, they filtered out of there and then it starts raining that evening.
Yeah.
And they're getting some different...
Dumping water on them.
Yeah, so the brush is wet, the logs are slippery, and they're a long way back in there. So we'll see what they end up doing. I know Ty Stubblefield doesn't seem like he's having a lot of fun.
No.
Can you do an imitation of his voice?
Everybody just recognizes him by his laugh, and it's it's a grizzly bear chuckling.
Ty is one of a kind, and we're glad he was able to help us out and provide at least a voice of reasoning for Tyler and Lenny, because I think they would probably be in another state already. They'd just keep going, not turn around. So.
Yeah.
But just a reminder, country like that, you need a good set of trekking poles for sure.
Yeah.
And today's giveaway in this episode includes a set of the Z poles from Peaks.
Just for leaving a comment.
All you got to do is comment down below, and we'll reward somebody. Sometimes we read through the comments and pick out one that's either really funny or really clever or stands out somehow. Sometimes we just scroll through it and randomly pick
Yeah.
a winner. So you can be as creative as you want. Some people are as simple as saying here or comment
Entered.
left or entered or whatever. And we're good with whatever you want to do. A comment is an entry, and we'll pick a winner for the gear package for this episode.
Yep.
And not to glaze over the important giveaway, not the important, but the big giveaway. Peaks is graciously donating a lifetime of Peaks products to a lucky winner. And the way you enter is just go to peaksequipment.com. That's PEAX equipment.com. And you can purchase one of the very special edition Destination Elk V5 t-shirts. And when you do that, you're automatically entered. And they're going to give one winner one of all of their products that exists now, plus one of every one of their products that comes out in the future. And they're also contributing 100% of the proceeds from the shirt sales to the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. And huge thank you to Peaks for being a great partner to us and a sponsor of Destination Elk and doing what they're doing there, in addition to making really awesome gear.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of really awesome gear,
Oh?
I heard there's some new stuff coming out from Yeti.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's right. So we've used the Go Box. In fact, I remember I got my first Go Box when it came out, and I wasn't a fan of it. I was
He's like, what am I going to do with this oversized tackle box?
I think I have 4 of them now that are all in essential use.
Yeah.
So handy to organize gear in, whether it's camera gear because it keeps everything, they're dust sealed, they're waterproof, there's good organization in there. I've got one in a truck that's got my tire pump and the battery jumper deal, jumper cables. It's got all my truck accessories in there.
Emergency kits.
But yeah, Yeti is redoing their Go Box, and it's got a new lid design on it. But they've had just the 30 has been the one they've had up till now. So now they've redone the lid design, so they still have the original 30, but they also have a smaller 15 and a larger Go Box 60. So 3 different sizes, and they found a place in my essential gear as well, for sure.
So I think those are being released today.
Today, yep.
So in the description below, there's a link to Yeti. You can click on that link and you can go and check out
the new Go Box.
The new Go Boxes and all the other gear.
Yep. So again, thank you to our sponsors. Please be sure and reach out to them, support them in any way you can, and let them know you're grateful for their involvement and partnership in Destination Elk. And we'll catch you in the next episode.